I do enjoy interracial romance in books. I don't mind it, but to say that it's better than any other type of romance, specifically black love romances, is doing a disservice to black authors and to black romance books. If you're telling me that you cannot find a black romance book or a black romance author with 2 black leads that isn't struggle love, you are lazy. Okay, but y'all eat up mafia romances. Y'all eat that shit up, right? So hush, enough. Like, enough. I'm so sick and tired of hearing people say the same shit. They were so cute and so pure, and it just made me cry. So it was really beautiful. It was sweet. It turned into like this whole sexcapade, and just, it was phenomenal. Like these scenes, that aquarium scene, yeah. All right, y'all. Get into the nitty-gritty of this video. Hello booktubing world. It's I, Capri Nicole, and I am back with another video. If you are new here or you are a new subscriber, I make bookish content, and for the year 2022 I'm only reading books by black authors. Now let's get into the topic of this video. I usually only post 1 video a week. This is something that I needed to address given the the past couple days that have occurred on Book Talk, specifically in the book community. But it is a reoccurring topic that I feel like I need to address. So in this video, I'm going to recommend over 25 books and authors and series, YA, adult, erotica, Kindle, traditionally published, a huge mix of black romance. Okay, but before I get into this video, I want to talk about why I'm filming this video. So over the weekend, there was a TikTok that was posted by a creator who, I'll put the TikTok up so you guys can watch it.
Here's 5 reasons you should be reading more fiction. Number 1, real life is terrible.
So in this video, she basically was saying that she feels like black women, white male romances are historically better than any other same race romance that she's read. Now, given the hashtags that she used and the comment section, she was specifically talking about 2 black main characters being the love interest. Now, here is my problem with that. Number 1. Let's see, where should I start? I will say that I do enjoy interracial romance in books. I don't mind it, but to say that it's better than any other type of romance, specifically black love romances, is doing a disservice to black authors and to black romance books. Like, they're already barely getting the traction that they need, so to flow with this narrative is really frustrating. It pisses me off because I feel like, I just don't understand the stupid shit that people say on the internet. It really blows my mind because it's like they do shit like this and don't think about the repercussions. Like, and then there were so many comments in their comment section that were just people saying like, oh, this is true, oh this, oh that. And it was so weird to me because on top of that, another thing that was brought up in the comment section was that, oh, all black romances that I read are so hood and it's like struggle love and there's so many hardships. Why do we have to go through so much in black romance? And let me tell you, you're lazy. You are lazy if you still are saying this stupid shit that I've seen so many people say. I see a whole bunch of black people in the book community saying that all black love romances are hood and struggle love or whatever. You're lazy. You are lazy. In the year 2022, we have so many different platforms. We have Bookstagram, we have Book Talk, we have BookTube, we have bloggers, you have Google, you have Goodreads. Like, if you're telling me that you cannot find a black romance book or a black romance author with 2 black leads that isn't struggle love, you are lazy. And that's on you, because all you have to do is Google. All you have to do is ask for recommendations. No one is doing that. No one is doing that. And it also pisses me off because, like, even if it is struggle love, who cares? Like, literally, who cares if there's a book that has 2 black leads and they have all these difficulties that go on within their romance? Who gives a shit? There's a lot of gangs in black romance. There's a lot of violence. There's a lot of this. There's a lot of that. Okay, but y'all eat up mafia romances. Y'all eat that shit up, right? Y'all read all that same shit and have nothing to say when it has the same stuff that you read in other black romance. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that is in the book, who gives a shit? Because y'all are eating up these mafia romances, these dark romances, the serial killer romances, all this shit that y'all read. But then when it comes to black books, if that's included, then all of a sudden that's the only thing you ever read about in black romance books, which is bullshit. That's number one. Number two, I just feel like this narrative is so tired. And then on top of that, people saying like, oh, if there's drugs and stuff like that. Okay, but if there's drug abuse, drug addiction, or any white main characters that are dealing with that in books, y'all eat that shit up too. Oh, they're so real. Oh, they're so raw. Oh, this is so realistic. Oh, they're so, you know, they're so powerful. They're pushing through their addiction when y'all read that shit with white main characters. But then you have same gripes with black characters in books, and it pisses me off because it's just not true. There are so many books that I have read just in this year alone that are so pure, so sweet, so precious, and so gentle, that have 2 black leads. So it's like, you need to do your research. You need to do your research. And then also in the comments, there was just like this obsession over white men seeing black women without weave and with their hair braided or taking their wigs off and all this stuff and saying they're so beautiful. Who gives a shit? Why do you need that validation? Like, really? Seriously? Like, why do you need that? Why is that something that you're excited to read about? Like, and then to say, oh, I don't see that in black books. I've read 3 books this year that had 2 black leads, and the male main character helped black female main character take her hair down. So hush, enough. Like, enough. I'm so sick and tired of hearing people say the same shit about black characters and black books and not do their own research. Enough of that. Enough. Like seriously, wrap it up. That's all I have to say about it. So before I get too angry, like, let's get into this video. So now that I've said all that I need to say about that, woosah. Anyway, so I have 25 plus books, authors, etc. that are black romance books that you can check out. I'm not going to go into like a full synopsis, description, whatever about these books because I want to edit and get this up today, and I don't want to go too deep into it. I will talk about a few of the tags of these books, so if it sounds like something that's interesting to you, or if you have a Kindle, please download these books and check these authors and books out. Alright, so I have 2 notebooks here. Like, I did my due diligence, okay? Okay, so the first book that I have is Now That I Found You. And this book is a YA romance book that follows the main character. Her name is Evie, and she's basically been blacklisted as an actress. I think she's in like high school. She's like a young adult coming out of high school, and her grandmother was really popular in Hollywood back in the day, and she's like an up-and-coming star. A little bit of drama goes down, and she ends up being basically blacklisted from working with any directors or being an actress in general. So she goes to stay with her grandmother, Gigi, for the summer, and she's basically like in hiding because everybody is looking to put her business out on like TMZ and stuff like that. She meets the main character, this other main character whose name is Milo, and he's in a band, and he's really sweet, and he helps her grandmother with like groceries and stuff like around the house and stuff like that. So they end up becoming friends. He introduces her to his friend group, and it goes from there. I really love this book because I just love romance books that have like an uptight female main character that does not let loose and is like skeptical of everything. And because she's like in hiding, it makes it funny because he's so chilled and laid back and like telling her like, girl, no one is checking for you. Like, literally no one is looking for you. You're in New York. Like, no one cares that you're blacklisted right now. So their romance is really cute. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars, so definitely check it out. So the next book that I have is Love and Color, and this book is like a combination of like retelling. So if you're tired of like Greek mythology, this is like heavy on like African mythology. The last story that she tells is like her parents' love story, and I really like this author. I think this was her debut book, and she has another book that I really enjoy as well that's on this list, and it's just really cute. I think my favorite story in the book was I think it was Nefertiti. Was it Nefertiti? I want to say it was Nefertiti retelling. That was one of my favorite ones, but definitely check this one out. This is a new author. and it's really good. So the next book that I have is Honey and Spice. Is by the same author as Love and Color, and I just read this recently. I highly recommend you listen to this book on audio because it has different media mixed into the audiobook. So the main character, her name is Kiki, and she's like a radio personality. She gives advice to all of the girls on the college campus, like how to stay away from F-boys and stuff, and how to not get played by men in general. But she ends up kissing one of the biggest players on the college campus, and they end up basically agreeing to fake date in order to deep dive into their relationship for work, so they can see why people fall in love and why people are willing to be in relationships and stuff like that. So Malachi is a videographer, so he really enjoys hearing people's stories and hearing about people's lives and stuff like that. So it just was really interesting to see two creative people fall in love, and they're both were very like sarcastic in a way. They both had like this really dry humor and this banter that I really enjoyed. If you read the first like 40% and you're not really feeling it, just push through, because I kind of felt the same. The first like 40% of the book, I was like, Kiki was a little bit insufferable, and I was like, sister, relax. Once Malachi is introduced, he like simmers her down a little bit. So I really enjoyed it. The last like 10 minutes, he talks about why people fall in love and relationships and stuff like that within a film that he produced, and it just made me cry. So it was really beautiful, it was sweet, I really enjoyed it. And if you're looking for two like, not grumpy, I don't want to say they were grumpy, but two like sarcastic asshole main characters that fall in love, then this is definitely the one for you. Okay, so the next book that I have is Silver Lining, and this book is like a Kindle Unlimited erotica novella book that is set on a cruise. This is also like the first book that I've read that had like a teacher-student dynamic that I felt was appropriate, because he was her professor in college and he did not pursue her, she did not pursue him. And then once they got a little bit older, they ended up seeing each other on the singles cruise, and it turns into like this whole sexcapade, and just, it was phenomenal. Like these scenes, that aquarium scene, yeah, these scenes in this book are hot fire flames. Like I really enjoyed it. It's like an older main character. I think he's in his 40s, so it's kind of a little bit like an age gap, but she's in like her 30s or something like that. But I just really love their dynamic, and just their scenes together were just great. So if you want to read something that's quick and set on a cruise ship, then I highly recommend this book. The next book that I have is By the Book, Jasmine Guillory, and honestly I recommend any Jasmine Guillory book. If you prefer books that are more like fade to black and pure and sweet, then I highly recommend her books. Her books aren't for everyone, but I personally, this was my first Jasmine Guillory book that I read, and I gave it 5 stars. I really loved both of the main characters. Basically this book is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. So it follows the main character who works in publishing, and she was so excited to get into publishing, and she thought it was going to be her dream job, but she's slowly starting to fall out of love with it and finding like the issues within the publishing house. They send her to this guy's house who is basically like a celebrity who was supposed to write like a tell-all book about his life, basically like a memoir, and he just hasn't sent any drafts out yet, and he's missing all these deadlines. So they kind of send her out there to stronghold him, and she ends up staying at his house, and it's just so cute. It's just very cute. He's very grumpy, she's very sunshine. Both of them are like big foodies, so like food is incorporated in this a lot. I like the way he works through his trauma, like, and I like the way she pushes him to like open up a little bit more in ways that he's comfortable with. I really enjoyed this book, highly recommend it. Aside from the fade to black, it was a great book. I'm not a fade to black girly, but you know, it was good. It was good. So the next book that I have is Secrets We Kept Until Morning, and this is like a short Kindle Unlimited book, and it follows this main character who is kind of bored in like her love life, and she wants to do something adventurous, something different, because she feels like her life is too, it's just giving square, it's just giving boring. She's fed up, she wants something new, she wants something exciting. So she ends up going to this sex club called, I think it's called Euphoria from what I remember, and she ends up meeting Dom, and her and Dom end up being in each other's lives and outside of the club unexpectedly. The world is very small. The ending was a little bit abrupt, but overall I enjoyed it. Very sexy. Okay, this is another book that kind of is like the female main character is a little bit stuck up and a little bit you know, uptight, and then the guy kind of loosens her up a little bit. So I really enjoyed it. So if you want something quick, something cute, then I highly recommend Secrets We Kept Until Morning. Okay, so the next books that I have to recommend is a series, and it's called In the Heart of Valentine, I believe. So it follows the Valentine brothers, who are like, I think they're sextuplets. I think there's 6 of them, and each book follows them falling in love with another girl. Like each, you know what I'm saying? Like each book has their little romance. So basically these are like powerhouse men that have a lot of money, that all own businesses that are doing something good within the community, and they just spoil their girls and treat them at high regard. So there is like one of the books where like stalking is involved, and there's like a whole altercation there, so be wary of that. I think it's the 2nd or 3rd book, I can't remember, but definitely check all the content warnings just in case, just to be sure, because you know how Kindle Unlimited get down. Okay, you get whiplash from all the shit that happens in those books. Overall, it was a cute little series. I like books that follow like siblings and like their little romances back to back. It was cute, it was sweet, so definitely check that out if you want to see some black girls get spoiled. Okay, so the next books that I have to recommend are Trick and Treat, which are both by Shay Sanders, and this is like a short erotica novella set during Halloween. The first book follows 2 main characters that go on their first date and things go wrong, and they end up just spending a night together, but they just get down. It was cute, I liked it, but the second book, baby, the second book is where it's at. I really love well-established couples. So the second book follows this married couple. I don't think they're married. I think they've been in a long-term relationship, and they both have kids together, and they're still together. But that goes to a costume party together. The woman in the marriage is a little more loose. She likes to, you know, try different things and do different things, but her husband is very straight edge. Like, he doesn't like trying different things. He's very vanilla. It's what he's comfortable with. So she's kind of stepped back a little bit. She wants to make sure that he's comfortable and make sure that she's not overstepping his boundaries. So they just been vanilla-ing it out, and he kind of feels bad about that. So he ends up taking her to the sex club, and they kind of have like a night together with with the host of the sex club. And my favorite part, aside from the sex scenes, my favorite part about this book was the communication. Like, the communication in this book was so phenomenal. They both talked about what they were comfortable with. They were very clear with what they were comfortable with. It was just a good time. Like, everybody was having a great time together, and I just want more books with them, honestly. I know it was a short story, but I really enjoyed both of these characters because the boyfriend was very honest and the girlfriend was also very honest, and they were just exploring a night together and had a really good time. So I know Halloween season or whatever is over, but definitely check this. So the next book that I have to recommend is Love Radio, and this is a YA romance that follows another radio personality, and it's kind of like Love Jones but set in high school, and like really pure and precious. And if you like the trope where the guy helps the girl take her hair down, that is in this book, and it's really cute. I really like the guy in this book. He was so gentle with her. There is some things that happen in this book that are touched on, so please check the content warnings. It's not anything super like on page or anything, but towards the end, just to be sure, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It definitely put me in the mind of Love Jones. Love Jones was referenced in this book, and it was just cute. It was cute. It was cute. It was cute. It was cute. Alright, so following the train of YA romance, this one follows another uptight female main character and a kind of loosey-goosey guy main character. So This one is set in high school and it follows the girl in this book. She kind of is very by the book. Like, she has her post-it notes that has everything that she plans on doing in order to get into college and literally follow everything that she's supposed to do. But one of her teachers tell her, like, I don't want to give you a recommendation until you live a little. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't, you know, you're very square. Like, you're very static. Like, I need you to loosen up a little bit and experience some things. Of course, she goes to one of the most popular guys in the school and basically tells him to, like, show her the ropes. So they were not friends. They end up becoming friends, and then it slowly turns into a romance. I personally really preferred them as friends. I feel like sometimes every book doesn't need a romance, but if you want something cute, something that's YA, something that's pure, then Charming is a Verb is definitely it. Definitely had me laughing out loud in a lot of the scenes. Check it out if it's something that you would be interested in. Okay, so the next book that I have to recommend, and honestly a few books that I have to recommend, are basically any book by Mimi Grace. Mimi Grace is that girl. I love her covers. I love the length of her books. I feel like the pacing of her books are perfect. And the book that I have to recommend is Make a Scene. And this basically follows these two businesses that are like in the same little shopping plaza, and they be fighting for parking spots, okay? But now that her neighbor has, you know, moved and no longer is renting there, she's like, I finally get a good parking spot. Come to find out, the guy next door to her owns a boxing gym and he takes her spot. So it turns into this whole thing, and then it tumbles into a fake dating situation. So they end up fake dating, and it was like, there was no fake dating. Like, they went straight into like liking each other. Honestly, there was no real slow burn, but they were so cute and so pure. I just ate it. I just ate it up. I loved it. There were so many scenes that just made me just like giggle and just smile from ear to ear because it just was so cute. Like, it was really cute. It was really precious. I really enjoyed it. The smut scenes were really good as well. We love a good talker. You know what I'm saying? We love a good talker. So I enjoyed their scenes together as well. But definitely check her books out if you want something cute, something fun, and something like light. So the next book that I have to recommend is a book by Kennedy Ryan. And Kennedy Ryan is that girl when it comes to romance. Her books are long as hell, but they're just so good. They just make you feel everything the characters feel. So the book that I have to recommend by Kennedy Ryan is Real. And this book is like a Hollywood romance and also a forbidden romance because it's between a director and one of the actresses who is playing this blues singer. Very forbidden and it's not supposed to be happening, but it happens. You know what I'm saying? It happens. And they end up getting together. There is some medical things happening in this book with the female main character, so definitely check any like content warnings, I guess, for that if medical issues or something that is triggering to you. There is drama in this book as well, family drama. Child, it couldn't have been me. I would have been in prison quick. It's good. It's good. I love the cover so much. Like, it's just good. So definitely check this one out. Lord, this video about to be so damn long. Next book that I have to recommend is by Shay Sanders, and it is called The Replacements. This one is following two main characters that are basically working together, so it's like an office romance. The female main character is restarting her life after a bad breakup because her ex is a terrible person, and she is the secretary to Taurus. And Taurus is about to turn 40 and he has big goals and big money to make. So they end up dating each other within the workplace, so it's like forbidden romance, office romance vibes, you know what I'm saying? And it's good. And honestly, this was like one of the first books that I read that had like a true grumpy main character, because he was grumpy as hell. Like, he was mean, but I liked them together. I also really enjoyed the housewife's representation because she was a housewife before she met Taurus, and just the whole conversation around that I really liked because someday I do want to be a housewife. So I just enjoyed hearing about her being a housemaker and stuff like that. So definitely check that out if it's something that you would be interested in. I think he was also a single dad. I can't remember if he was a single father or if they were co-parenting, but I know he has a daughter. So the next three recommendations I have are all authors. So the first one that I have to recommend is J.L. Segars. So I have seen so many people crying over her books. They say she's very similar to Kennedy Ryan. So again, if you go into her books, please check the trigger warnings and stuff like that, because I haven't read any of her books personally, but I've seen other content creators talk about her books and really love them. I think she has 3 or 4 books out, so definitely check the synopsis of those books, do your research, see if anything sounds interesting to you, and pick them up. Okay, the next one that I have to recommend is an OG, and it is Beverly Jenkins, child. Like, historical romance girly, you need to tap in with Beverly Jenkins. It's like the queen of black historical romance, because you know how they like to get down when it comes to historical books. They love to write black and people of color out of those books and out of those narratives, even on TV shows. So it's really just nice to see. I have a few of her books. Oh, let me not talk too much, child. I know some of my subscribers, they gonna catch on. Okay, so just her covers, amazing. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a historical romance girly, Beverly Jenkins is your girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you waiting on? Pick her up. And the next author that I have to recommend is D. Rose. She writes a lot of like musical inclined romance books, sports romance, friends to lovers as well. So definitely go through her backlist, see if any of those books are interesting to you or is something that you can see yourself reading, and pick them up. So if you like, you know, if you like sports romance and stuff like that, or music and books, then she's definitely your girl. So the next book that I have to recommend is The Friendship Contract, and this basically follows these 2 best friends, and the guy has been in love with her forever, but he is, you know, coming up with a little plan to make her fall for him, or at least give him a chance. So that's basically the basics of this book, and I've also seen like a few reviews saying that he deals head on with his childhood trauma, so definitely check out the content warnings maybe for that, because I personally have not read this book, but I know that childhood trauma is addressed in this book. But it just seems like it's going to be something cute. If you like friends to lovers, then this is that girl. You know what I'm saying? This is that girl. Go ahead and pick her up. So the next book that I have to recommend is another Jasmine Guillory book, which is Royal Holiday, and it follows a stylist that ends up going to England to style the royal family, and she ends up falling for their secretary. So it's like a holiday romance, something cute, something sweet, and it goes from Christmas fling into like New Year's, into like what are we doing, like what are we type vibes. So definitely something you should pick up, given that Christmas is slowly approaching if you want to get into the holiday spirit. So the next book that I have to recommend is Here Comes the Sun. This is basically, I guess, friends to lovers, I would assume. It's a novella, something quick, something cute, and I think the guy main character is in love with the female main character, but she's not going for it. So he tells her, listen, either you give me a chance or the friendship ends, because I can't just be friends with you anymore. I'm in love with you. I want to pursue this. So that's basically the synopsis of this book. And if you love friends to lovers, I feel like a good chunk of these books are friends to lovers, but definitely check this one out, especially if you want to read something quick. So this one sounds so cute to me, but this one is called Mistletoe Blues. So it is like a short novella that follows the main character who is dared to kiss the Santa in the mall, and she ends up kissing him and he likes her. So he trying to get a date with her and stuff like that. So that's basically what this book is followed. Just something cute, you know. She was dared to kiss him, she ends up kissing him, and that's where everything kicks off. So I think it's gonna be cute. I really am like waiting to read this for Christmas, because I just want something cute, you know, for the holidays. Ho ho ho. Ho ho ho. Okay, so the next book that I have to recommend is Sweet Hand, and this follows, basically they're like friends to enemies to lovers, and it also has fake dating in it. One of the main characters, the female main character, she owns a baking company, and the guy is a producer. I love this cover so much. It's so damn cute. I just love this style of just cartoonish cover. There's also bisexual representation, because the guy in this book is bisexual, which we love to see. We love a bisexual king. We need more of that in romance books. So they end up fake dating, slow burn, we got baking, we got music added in. It's just all good. Definitely should pick it up if it sounds like something you're interested in, especially if you like baking in books. Baking in books is always fun. All I've Ever Wanted. So this basically is like a novella that follows the main character who has been with her boyfriend for a while, and he ends up asking her for the next step in their relationship. He's a baseball player, and it kind of pushes her to look at the relationship and decide if it's where she wants it to be. And she kind of takes like a deep dive and soul searching in her own personal life and sees that there's some changes there that she also wants to make. We love a good revamp of a life story, and especially if it's quick. I love a good quick book. Okay, so the next couple books that I have to recommend is by Miss Adams, and it is Treble and Go Deep. So these are the two books that I've seen recommended a lot by other Black creators, called Go Deep, and it basically follows this main character who just got out of a relationship because her ex did her grimy, and because of the way that the relationship ended, she's also struggling with writing, because I think she's either a blog writer or like a author, and she's kind of going through like a creative block and a writer's block because of the way her relationship ended. So she pursues her best friend and says, hey, me and you, let's get it popping, let's see what it do, okay, get me out of this creative slump. And it goes from there. The other book is Trouble, that follows this couple that is in a polyamorous relationship, and they usually pursue people outside of their relationship, but this is the first time that they've both been interested in the same person. So if you want an erotica, polyamorous, established relationship book, then Trouble is your girl. This is well over 25 books, but this is the last recommendation that I have. So the next slew of books that I have to recommend and to end this video is the Boyfriend Project series. Now, I have seen this damn series everywhere. I've been seeing a lot of booktubers talk about it, and each book is different. We have a mix of contemporary, we have a mix of forbidden romance, we have a mix of medical, I guess like doctors, sports romance, like fake dating, like it's just a mix. Every book is different, and I think there's 3 of them. I've heard really good things about the hookup plan, but I do want to read all of them. So if you want something that's fun and something that follows like a group of friends, then I definitely recommend this series. So that's it. I want to say I recommended over 20, that's over 25 books. It's probably around like 30 plus. And I also recommended authors. So I feel like it's a good mix of different types of romance books. We got erotica, we got Kindle, we got YA, we got Fade to Black, we got anything you want is there. So I don't want to hear any more damn excuses. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see any more foolishness like this on TikTok. I really hope that you check out some of these books or any of these authors and just mix up your reading. Please, like, please support Black authors, and please support Black indie authors as well. I've covered everything. I hope everyone is having a good Sunday. I will see you guys next week. Always remember, read a book, keep your life interesting, and I will see you next time. If you've made it to the end of this video, leave a celebratory emoji in the comment section below, a party hat, or a, you know, the little confetti, anything like that. Leave it in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.